crafters. Okay, it is time for my Craft Roulette submission for episode number 273, which includes project and ladies card. I'm going to go with this cute little camper as going to a lady friend. I would think this card would go to. And probably going to use this You Have Fabulous Style sentiment right here. But anyway, colors are candy wrapper. Again, wide open. There's so many different candy wrappers in the world. You could go crazy with that. And if you have clear candy wrapper on the candy, then it's whatever the color of the candy is, right? That's how that works. Element is camp, camps, camping, hence the trailer. And then the random is belt. So let's talk about the belt. I'm going to do a belly band. I'm going to do a gatefold card. It's going to be a card within a card kind of situation. And then I'm going to make a belly band. That'll be my quote-unquote belt. Okay, so I'm going to start out with an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I'm going to make my gatefold card. So I'm going to cut this at 5.5 on the 11-inch side. That gives me this card base, and you'll understand what I'm saying about when I'm saying this card base. What do you mean by that? So we'll talk about that. All right, I'm going to get a lovely scoreboard, and we're going to do just a little bit of scoring so we can do the gatefold. So I am going to do 2 1/8 score, and then I'm just going to flip it all the way around and do another 2 1/8. That gives me 4 1/4 in the middle. Of course, I am going to be burnishing. Oh, good. This one is not meeting perfectly in the middle, which actually makes me happier. Okay, let me show you what I'm going to be doing here. So as you can imagine, there's really not a great way to put this big of an image on the outside of a gatefold card. So I'm going to use pattern paper for this, of course. But what I'm going to do on the inside is put a top folding card. This one might need some, no, it's fine. And then that way, this image and what I'm going to do here can fit here. And then what I can do then is open up and still have a personal message. So let's get this all kind of situated. Actually, let's not do that situated. Let's do all the stamping we're going to do on this, because this is pretty much going to be a 1-layer card. Okay, I've got everything kind of laid out the way I want to. I'm going to use the grill versus the campfire. I think if you're glamping, you're really not making a campfire like I did back in Girl Scouts. I don't think that's happening. I'm going to use this little cactus. It's not too old, cactus. Here just to make it all work. And I'm going to have to draw some, I don't know, some kind of ground, something to ground the images. I know that as well. And of course, I have not used, I think the cactus is the only stamp out of this that I've used. So to do, if you've not got brand new stamps, I'm sorry, I condition them. And what I do is I just rub my fingers across all the things. I think it makes it work a little bit better. And then, oh, sorry, guys, I apologize. And what I'm going to use is Copic friendly ink. So I'm going to be using my Memento Tuxedo Black, because that is what I typically use. And I probably am going to use a little bit of alcohol marker, so I'm going to use my Copics and things. And maybe I'll even use some colored pencils. I'm not really sure about that part. I'm going to use whatever, or maybe I just watercolor it a little bit. I don't know. What do I want to do today? Kind of new to watercolor just because I haven't done it in for a while. If I keep the brush pretty dry, since this is not watercolor paper, it probably would still work out fine. I kind of think I'm leaning towards that because, again, I haven't done it in a while. It'll be nice and soft colors too, which I think I will like. Okay, that is the cutest thing ever. Okay, time to get ready to color. Okay, I am not gonna hold you hostage while I color because I just feel like people rarely watch my videos all the way through, and if I get them to pay attention for 30 seconds, I feel like I've done something. So there's no need to do that. But anyway, if you're interested, I am using Melon Mambo, Blackberry Bliss, Allen Indigo, excuse me, Calypso Coral, and Old Olive, all from Stampin' Up. And then I'm just going to get my little watercolor brush here. I got some extra water here. And I'm just going to have a little fun. All right, see you in a little bit. Okay, here's where we are. I've already made a mistake because I wasn't thinking that things are going to bleed through, because I actually tried to not use much water, but I still did. And so I'm going to end up having to cut this off and put it on another piece of cardstock, which is fine. But I still need to do my tires and a couple other things. Oh, I meant to get yellow. I had to get yellow. Okay. So, of course, oh, let me make this lovely gray too, because I want everything to have some kind of color, I think. So I'm using a few Copics. There's no rule that says you have to use only one medium. That's the lovely thing about card making and doing your own cards, is because you get to do what works for you. Now my little thing, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a little bit of shimmer. I must have used my shimmer watercolors last time I used my water brush, because I was noticing it had shimmer, and I know the things by Stampin' Up, they don't have shimmer in their ink. So I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. Very girly. So since this is a ladies card, that works out well. And I want this to be lit up. She's having a good old party inside while her food's cooking. Now, to ground things. Now, this has a little bit of grounding because it has that little line at the bottom. So, I think I've shared this before. But I'm not a great Copic color. I'm not a great color, period. But one of the things that I found from somebody, you just do a series of dots. And I'm doing it in this lovely brown color, because I'm assuming she's camping in the desert. And actually, I learned on Blue's Clues way back in the day when my kid watched Blue's Clues, that when you make paintings and things with series of dots, it's called pointillism. That's another fun little trivia information that you didn't ask for. But I decided to freely give. So this kind of makes it look like it's sitting on the ground. I think that just kind of helps it out a little bit. And it's something I can do because I'm not a freehand kind of person to draw or do any things, and I'm over here fumbling because I'm trying to get my trimmer back out. Okay. So now I got to cut this off because, like I said, that's all bleeding through, and I wasn't thinking about that when I put this together. So I'm going to cut this down just a tad. Where's my... So, and then I'm going to take a hair off of each side, so I have a little bit of a border when I put it on my card front. Okay, so there you go, easy peasy. And then, it's not quite dry yet, but let me find another. Ooh, this is thick. I don't know that I want to use that because I'm using, see, where's all my, here it is. Oop. I'm trying to use, I know most people make cards with their 110 pound card stock, and I used to do that. But with inflation, I'm just like, well, let's go with something smaller. And this is going to have so many layers, it's not going to be that big a deal. See, this can go up here just nicely like this. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. Okay. Now, this now will go into my gatefold part of my card. And I still have to make a belly band. And I've got to figure out, yeah, I got to figure out some other things too. What is all this stuff sticking to my card? Okay, hold on guys, sorry. Got little shavings of things that are irritating me a little bit. Okay. So, ooh, that leaves a gap. Oh, but if I put a topper, all right, we're gonna play this with a little bit more. So anyway, here's what we have so far. You can write your message in here. We're gonna make a belly band, which is the belt part. But I got to find some coordinating pattern papers, and the belly band's gonna have to be pretty big because I want it to cover this up. And I gotta figure out how to cover this up too. So let's think about that. Okay, I decided to go with some neutrals. I had this out on my over here on my side table, and I'm always trying to use up those scraps instead of having to cut it all down and put them in my scrap bucket. Use what you have. Don't always go back in for a new piece of paper. That's always, oh, this is very tight. Is this even gonna work? Yes, it does work. Okay, good, 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 because I wasn't really sure it would. I hope you're having a great weekend. This weekend when I'm doing this, you'll probably won't see this until Monday, because that's my usual time to get these out. That's such a big gap. Okay. Okay. So we have this and this. I could have cut this down a little bit and it wouldn't have created an even bigger gap, but that's okay. Too late now. All right, moving on. Let's figure out the belly band. Okay, I think I'm gonna use this piece of paper. It's very bright, I know. But it's a scrap and it will cover this. So let's get it cut down. First, I'm gonna straighten this edge over here. And I'm not gonna keep this little piece. Well, I could. It doesn't make any difference, actually. I could keep that. Okay. So I want this. I'm gonna try to use my mat here. And I'm gonna try to get this as straight as I can, which I know is asking a lot of me. Hold on. Actually, let's put this on this side like this, because that white course wants to show a little bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna flatten this out as best as it will let me. Okay. There you go. Oh, well, there's that. So it'll slide off. Cool. Yep. Like this. Now, what can I do here? Because I got just a little bit of that sentiment showing through. Okay, for this little section, I have decided to use a cute little butterfly, and I'm going to only put glue on one side of his wings. So again, just one side, kind of strategically place it, and then I'm going to put my reverse tweezers on it while it dries. Now, also, this is actually a die cut that I had in my little scrap die cut bin, because I have one of those too. You keep everything, guys. You keep everything. All right, next, I am going to make a little scene on this piece. It'll go on my belly band. And I'm going to use the Sentiment Happy Trails because I think that goes really well. Okay, for this one, I am going to use my Cut-Bit. So it's not going to match, unfortunately, what is on the inside as far as this cactus is concerned. But I don't want this warping, and already cleaned up what I had, so out already. So we're just going to do a little rough color. I'm going to use the same trick with this and make a little bit of ground for my lovely two little items there. And I feel like it needs a little something else. So I think I'm going to put down just a little bit of yellow up here. I'm using Distress Oxides for this in my little mini cubes. This is Scattered Straw, and the reason I'm using that is because it was the easiest to get to. How's that for decision making? Oh, that's so cute. That makes it just like perfect. In fact, I think I'm going to add just a tad bit more along this bottom edge too. Like that. I like the way that looks. I should blend more often. I don't know why I always find a reason not to blend, but I do. So now this little sweet thing is going to go up here. Let me take this off now. And I'm going to put this on the length of this basically, so that this can go right here. So the recipient, to be on the safe side, is going to have to open this in a very specific way. But let's talk about it. Okay, so this is a project, a ladies card. This would be something I would give a girlfriend. Camping is the element. Colors are candy wrapper. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you what candy wrappers these go, because there's 500 million of them. I looked on Google for a color palette, and believe me, the rainbow was there. And then random is belt, and I'm using my belly band as my belt random. So this comes off. The person who opened it up says, "You have fabulous style," because whoever lady you're giving to, you know she does. And then you can write your little personal message here. And it does, with all of these little things, cover up anything that you can see from my gap. Oops. Why is that? Ooh, hold on. Don't be a thing. Okay, there it goes. So that is my finished card. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I know this is probably a long one. Aren't you glad I didn't let you watch me color everything? All right. Have a great day, guys. See you next time.